Hi, and welcome to Talking Happily Ever After. In this podcast, we talk about movies with a happily ever after theme. I'm your host, Danielle. Feel free to drop me a DM, a voice message, or an email on the available platforms linked in the description box. Happy listening! Today, my friends, we're talking about Love on the Slopes. Love on the Slopes premiered on the Hallmark channel on January 6, 2018. The movie stars Katrina Bowden as Alex Burns and Thomas Beaudoin as Cole Taylor. Alex is a copy editor at a round the world travel magazine. While she loves her work, she is ready for the next step. She wants to be a writer at the magazine. When the boss announces a writing contest for the next issue, Alex's colleague Kate encourages her to pitch a story. The winner of the writing contest will get the following prizes: a cover article, a position as a staff travel writer, and a first-class ticket to anywhere in the world. Alex is intrigued by nature and extreme sports photographer Cole Taylor. She pitches the idea to her boss to travel to Ridgeline Resort, where he lives, and writes an article about him. Her boss doesn't think that's a good idea. Cole is a recluse, and her boss doesn't believe Alex will get an interview. He suggests instead that Alex writes a story about her own experience with extreme sports. She has to participate in every extreme sport they have at the resort. In fact, he doesn't believe she'll succeed at all. Shortly before leaving on her trip, Alex attends a function with her boyfriend Barton. His parents are also in attendance, and they do not seem very impressed with her career path. When Barton tells Alex that he has an important announcement to make, she expects it to be personal about the two of them. Maybe she thought he would pop the question. Well, she's wrong. The announcement is that Barton made partner in his dad's firm. Everyone knows that Alex is not the sporty type, but her friend Kate, remember, who's also her colleague, believes in her. The trip doesn't start well for Alex. Barton isn't very supportive as she speaks to him on the phone while she's on her way to the airport. And then the taxi to the resort breaks down. So she decides to walk the rest of the way. A handsome stranger who's going the same way offers her a ride, but she refuses. Very wise, in my opinion. We don't accept rides from strangers, no matter how handsome they are. When she finally arrives at the resort, she is informed about the planned activities in Ridgeline. She's surprised to learn that Cole Taylor participates in Winter Walk. Winter Walk is an event where artists open up their workshops for visitors. It appears that Mr. Taylor isn't a recluse but a person who values his privacy. Her cabin, located on a hill, has a breathtaking view. She starts her quest immediately by signing up for a mountain biking excursion. Her fears show as she has to get on a ski lift to get to the starting point of the bike ride. A human pileup is the result. Again, a handsome stranger offers her help. Yes, you guessed it. The same handsome stranger who offered her a ride. Now she accepts his help. They don't exchange names. But when the handsome stranger goes his separate way, she understands that he's none other than the elusive Cole Taylor. Back at the resort, she meets up with the tour leader Sarah, who advises her to hire a guide. The next day, Alex visits Cole's gallery, the Ridgeline Art Gallery. When Cole arrives, Alex asks him if he would be her guide for the week. In return, she'll help him with the preparations for Winter Walk. Cole flatly refuses at first, but Max supports Alex's proposal. After some back and forth, Cole reluctantly relents. The first activity is scaling an indoor climbing wall. After getting Alex the right gear, Cole leads her into the technicalities of the climb. At the end of the successful activity, Alex is excited. Cole tells her about his passion for providing unprivileged kids with an unforgettable ski experience through his foundation. The meet and greet at his gallery during Winter Walk is a fundraising activity. The second activity is a hike to the top of the Ridgeline Bridge. While on the way, Cole explains that he doesn't need to expose his personal life on social media. A website for his work is enough. On their way to the top, they see a beautiful waterfall. They also need to cross a narrow bridge. Now, crossing this bridge took a lot of courage from Alex, and Cole patiently guided her to take one step after the other. Finally, at the top, they have breakfast and enjoy the breathtaking views. Cole shared that he hasn't taken any good photographs in a while. He seems to have lost his inspiration. Their conversation results in the revelation of their top ultimate travel bucket list. Both want to visit Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe. He wants to bungee jump, and she wants to see the elephants. Coincidence? I don't think so. They also go ziplining. Cole tells a fearful Alex that she has to take the leap if she wants to write a good article about conquering her fears. Cole himself seems re-inspired. He takes a lot of pictures. When Alex's boss hears that she met Cole Taylor, he changes the angle of the article. He now wants her to write about Cole. Cole has already explained to Alex that he does not want any publicity except for his work. Now she's caught between a rock and a hard place. Is she going to tell him that he's now the subject of her article? We'll see. Sarah, who's been friends with Cole for a while, tells Alex about his loyalty. In the following days, they go tubing, skiing, and most importantly, they talk. He talks about his photography journey, his mom who passed away when he was in college, his childhood vacations in Ridgeline. He also talks about his breakup, which seems to have taken a toll on him. Alex talks to Barton about the new angle of her article, and he tells her to do her job and come home. Not helpful, right? Alex isn't comfortable writing about Cole. The meet and greet at the gallery is successful. Cole is nervous to give his speech, and Alex reminds him to be himself. After the meet and greet, they go for dinner and end up on the dance floor. He tells her she's captivating. She tells him that the world could use a little bit more Cole Taylor. This was such a heartwarming scene. They end up winning the two-step dance-off. When Cole drops Alex off at the resort, she invites him in to talk. She started telling him about the article while dancing, but was unable to finish. It's time to come clean. But when they make their way to the resort's restaurant, lo and behold, there is Barton checking into the presidential suite. Alex is stunned, and Barton doesn't seem to feel the tension. She awkwardly introduces Cole, and then Barton spills the beans about Cole being the subject of her article. Oh, the look on Cole's face. He's livid and deeply disappointed at the same time. Alex tries to explain, but he tells her that she had ample time to speak to him about it. She made a conscious choice to write about him even after he opened up to her. They part ways, their pain obvious, both heartbroken. Bowden doesn't understand what's going on, and unbeknownst to Alex, he has planned a carriage ride with Sarah's help. Well, it's part of her job, she couldn't say no. During the carriage ride, they see Cole skiing on the mountain. Shortly after the sighting, Bowden proposes to Alex. She asks him, "Why do you want to marry me?" His answer? "Because I thought that was what you wanted." Every time I watch this movie and this scene comes up, I just sit there shaking my head. Thankfully, Alex says no. Before leaving Ridgeline, she visits the gallery, but Max sends her away. She leaves Cole a copy of the article and a sizable donation for his foundation. Max urges Cole to read the article. Back in New York, the boss intercepted the article Alex had sent to Kate for review. She wasn't planning on sending the article directly to her boss because Cole wasn't happy. After reading the article, the boss is impressed and Alex wins the competition. She's elated. She returns to Ridgeline and goes to the gallery. The walls in the gallery are full of her pictures. She presents Cole with her prize, a ticket to Zimbabwe, and asks him to meet her at the top of the Ridgeline Bridge at noon. They meet up at the mountain, they express their love for each other, and they decide to go to Zimbabwe together. The movie ends with them bungee jumping off a bridge, and as we say, they lived happily ever after. This movie is one of my top 10 Hallmark movies. Let's start with Alex. She was fearful of everything. Why? At the beginning of the movie, we learn that she fell off the stairs when she was little, and from then on, her mom was very careful. Alex was fearful but determined to show her boss that she could write a good article. I was so happy that her friend Kate believed in her, even though she knew Alex was not the sporty type. I didn't like Bowden at all. He never really listened to Alex. His support of her aspirations was half-hearted at best. Cole and Alex's beginning was rocky. But after their first activity, Cole understood the importance of writing the article. It warmed my heart that they listened to each other, understood each other, and empathized with each other. Understanding, listening, empathy. Max was a supportive friend. He knew Cole's history. He saw the attraction between them and wanted his friend to be happy again. When they go to dinner and end up on the dance floor, well, that was one of my many favorite scenes from the movie. The dance, not so much, but the conversation they have. They voiced their thoughts about each other. Again, friends, love prevailed. Cole wasn't happy with the way Alex handled things. Yes, she should have told him. Yes, she should have been honest. Yes, she should have been truthful. But at the end of the day, he also wanted her to have her dream. She wrote a respectful, stellar article, and so he gave his consent for publication. I'm rating this movie 4.5 out of 5 stars. Yes, there were a few gaffes, but, well, they didn't really matter to me. One was the airline ticket. Normally, they print the city you're going to and not just the country. And the other one was when the car broke down in the beginning of the movie, when she was going to the resort, the chauffeur seems to be pointing in the wrong direction. All in all, I loved the story and the way the actors portrayed it. A job well done. I hope to see Miss Bowden and Mr. Beaudoin in many more Hallmark movies. Thank you so much for listening, and feel free to contact me on the available platforms. Till next time, stay well. As you go about your week, may peace be yours, may abundance overflow, may you be a light wherever you go.